Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to look at how to personalise your pictures by adding your name to it. That's not just in a typed font, that's not in one of these purchased files that can supply your name in a sort of lovely brush script. It's your own personal signature, your own tag, whatever you want to write. It's unique to you, it's your own style, it's terribly easy to do, and I thought it was something I had to share with you. While we're doing that, or just before we get on to doing that, just down there's a little red button that says subscribe. If you could click on that, I'd really appreciate it. That'd be brilliant. Without any more ado, let's press on and show you how easy this technique is. Quite simply, just start by signing your name or initials, whatever you want to, on a piece of plain paper, just like that. If you have a scanner, then scan your signature. If you don't, just grab your camera, take a picture of it, and we'll upload that file. Okay guys, so here's the signature that I photographed. As you can see, my Sharpie was getting a bit low on ink, so it's not the most contrasty picture we've ever had. Doesn't matter, it's a bit flaky around the edges, doesn't matter, we can sort a lot of this out, and I kind of like the effect it gives in any case. So I'm going to start here by adding just a straight, dead simple levels layer. And you can see that our highlights aren't even pure white, and our shadows certainly are nothing like pure black. And what we're going to do is we're going to increase the contrast off the scale. Dead easy. Take the white slider at the end, the highlight slider, and we pull it back beyond this peak. This peak is the grain and the texture of the paper we'd used. We want it to be pure white. Everything to the right of that highlight slider is now totally blown out white, which is what we want. We're going to take the black slider here, and we're going to take that and slide that all the way up here, 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 all the way up to about there. You can see now our black's totally black. If you look closely, you'll see that the edge of the lettering's got a bit of blue fringing on it. Now that blue fringing comes about when you change your contrast of a picture and leave the blending mode at normal. You change the contrast, you also change the saturation. And obviously there was just a little bit of blue within this black Sharpie. They all have some sort of colour. And the saturation just goes up off the scale. So all I'm going to do here is to take our blending mode. If you come down to the layers palette down here, come down to the blending mode there, which is currently normal. We take that down to luminosity and we click on that. You'll see that blue fringing has just gone completely. It's still not perfect. It's still a little bit flaky. And in fact, if we take a zoom tool and we zoom right in here, you'll see it's a little bit soft around the edges as well. But that we can sort. So what I want to do here is select the blacks within this signature. I'm just going to pop up to the magic wand tool. For those of you interested in shortcut keys, shortcut key for wand is W. I use it all the time. I've got the tolerance set at the moment at 0. Let's just nudge it up to about 6 or 7. There's 7, that's near enough. And I'm just going to click on that. I'm going to make sure contiguous there is unticked. If contiguous is unticked, it means wherever you click, it will select that tone right the way across the photo. So it will select it from the signature. It will also select it from the full stop as well. So if I just go there and I click on there, you will see that pretty well the whole signature and the full stop has been selected. I'm just going to go back to the zoom tool. I'm just going to creep in here, see how we're doing. And there's a few little fluffy bits at the edge that it could be extended into. So I'm just going to go back to the wand tool, click in there again, just a little bit tighter, see if we can extend that selected area just a touch. And we have it. That's pretty well got everything I want. I'm happy with that. Full screen, and you can see what we've got selected is the J and the G and the full stop. So that's all right. That selection now is non-layer specific. So if I come down to the bottom of the layers palette again, and I go right down there to the second from the right, there's a icon there that allows you to create a new layer. And what I'm going to do here is just to create a layer. That layer has nothing in it at all. It's completely transparent. That layer of transparency is actually what we're going to effectively be loading onto our photos as a signature. But at the moment there's nothing on it, but I do have a selection in place. Brilliant. Okay, let's select firstly. If we go down to the bottom left hand of our side of our tools palette, you can see our default colors here are set as black on white. The actual default colors are black foreground color and white background color. I've selected that as foreground color, and what I'm going to do now is just go up to the top here where it says edit, and to come down here where it says fill, and I'm going to fill with foreground color. Click on OK, and there it's done that. Now it doesn't look any different, but if I just now show you layer 1 without the levels layer and the low contrast background layer, let's just show you it here. There it is. Let's get rid of those marching ants. And what we have now is my Monika, if you like, my signature, purely in black, purely on a clear background. Now with those other two layers turned off, level 1 turned off, which was the contrast enhancing layer, and the background layer, which was that kind of low contrast signature on greyish paper, we have pure black on clear. We're now going to go up to File here. We're going to go down to Save As. And I shall save it within, that'll do, today's photos. I'm going to save that as JG Black, initials, so I know exactly what it is, but I'm not going to save it as a Photoshop file. And this is the important bit. This is the really, really important bit. You save it as a PNG. PNG files are the only files that will save with a clear background. If you save it as a Photoshop file, if you save it as a JPEG, it will automatically save that with a white background. You drop it on your photo and you've got a black signature on a white rectangle. Doesn't look so good. PNG and save. File size, you've got large file, you've got medium, you've got smallest. I'm just going to click on the one that's there. Now, I've saved that full size. You can shrink it down, you can save it as small as you like, because bear in mind it is only going to go in the corner of a photo. But let's press on. From this, I'm going to reselect everything that's there. If you've got a limited amount on a layer like this and you want to precisely select it, it is so simple. On a PC you hold the control key down, on a Mac you hold the command key down, and you click on that layer. Where it says layer 1, click on the image. See that? And you see those marching ants have now totally surrounded that black signature. What I'm going to do now is simply invert the colours. Control or Command I for invert. I now have a white signature. Let's get rid of those marching ants just to show you a perfect white signature against a totally clear background. I want to make absolutely sure. I want to zoom in and show you. There's not a scrap of black on that. It's a white signature. Okay, we're going to save that. File, save as. and then a PNG, and there it says JG black initials. I'm just going to save that as a JG white initials. So now I have a choice depending on the photo. I'll save that again as a large file, and there we have it, job done. Right guys, having created those two initials files, the white one and the black one, I'm just going to show you quickly how easy it is now to drop onto a photo and resize it. I have made sure that the colour space of both the photo and the signature is the same, in this case sRGB, but the same if you use Adobe RGB or ProPhoto RGB, just make sure they're the same. And also the bit depth, they're both sitting at 16-bit. Take the Move tool, get the files open side by side. You can do that under Window, Arrange, and you can see two up there. That's one of the easiest ways to do it. But you take the Move tool and you come across to this photo here. This never works in a demo, so let's hope it works today. If we grab hold of the thing there and we bring it across to here, you will see now we have a giant JG plastered right the way across the photo, and that of course is not what we're looking for. However, I'd sooner start with something too large and shrink it rather than start with something really tiny and try and enlarge it. So I'm just going to simply go edit. It's important here not to go image, you've got to go edit because it's only working on that layer. And we're going to go edit, transform, scale. I'm also going to make sure that, see this little chain here, that links the width and the height together. If that's deticked like that, see the way it's now doesn't look indented, you can change the format of the shape. But if it is indented, then we're going to keep the proportions of that signature, which is kind of important. Well, I think it's kind of important. And all we're going to do is shrink it down there. Pop it in that corner, whatever size you want, whatever size suits you. Hit the Enter key, and there you have a lovely little white signature in the corner of your photo. Your signature, your style. And the great thing is you haven't had to pay anybody else to do it. Let's just look at one other photo, exactly the same on this. I've got this picture here, and I've got the JG black initials just there, as if by magic. Take the Move tool, grab hold of that, drag it across to this photo, and yes, it's a giant JG. You knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. Edit, transform, scale again, grab hold of that, just shrink it right down. I want it down somewhere in that corner. Kind of like that. Let's just close that one. Close that one. And we'll put these two side by side so you can see them. Window, Arrange, two up vertical. And there you have personalised signature added to your photo with a clear background. Really not too hard. I hope you've enjoyed looking at it. If you do, please subscribe just down in that corner. Thank you very much for watching.